Alright, welcome back to another video. I'm in a brand new place once again. But I had some things I wanted to talk about. So, what I've been up to and just what I've been learning in my life. And I think that you'll be able to take this and really use it to better your life. And that's what my whole idea behind any video I ever film is. My idea is I want to make you the best version of yourself. And how are we going to do that? By talking about how I've been able to do it, how my friends have been able to do it, and just some of the conversation, the things we do every day to make ourselves better as an individual. So with that being said, a couple of the biggest things I want to talk about. Number one is how to invest your money and what that looks like. I'm not going to be able to give you the perfect rundown because obviously I'm still learning about what that looks like as I'm only 19. However, I can give you a rough rundown on what investing your money looks like and why you should start doing it. And then a completely different topic is prayer. Prayer has been really changing my life, and I mean that. From praying in the midst of any type of temptation you face, maybe you're with your friends and they're drinking, or maybe you're in your room home alone and you're facing lustful temptations, or maybe you just don't know where to go in your life with the next major decision, whether it's college or it's losing friendships or a relationship that you think you might need to get out of. Whatever it is, prayer has been changing my life, and I mean that. So, we'll talk about the prayer first. And like I said, praying for guidance, I think, is the biggest thing, one of the most important things you can do in your life. What's up? Okay, so back to praying for guidance. So, like I said, the temptation part is self-explanatory. Anytime you're being tempted to do anything that you obviously shouldn't be doing, and you feel that in your heart that, I shouldn't be doing this, but I really want to do it because it's going to sound fun, and then you do it, and then guess what? Now you're turned around this way, and now you're not even fulfilled, even though it said it was going to fulfill you, and it lied to you, and that's the reality. So if you can get to a point where anytime you're really tempted, if you can hit your knees and pray, say, God, help me with this temptation. God, I know it's not worth it. And then after that, you start praying about things that aren't even about that temptation. He'll take your mind off it and he'll lead you through it. And also through prayer, you'll learn that the conversations in your life got deeper, the relationships in your life got deeper, and you start to see God in a way that you've never seen him before. When you open your Bible, it starts to make sense in a way that it didn't make sense before. In a conversation, you get something out of it that you wouldn't have got before. And it's all because you're sacrificing, which is what we talked about in our men's group yesterday. And the word in Matthew 5 says, those who hunger and thirst for the Lord are blessed. And what does that mean, hunger and thirsting? Yes, it means these amazing God moments. It does. But more than just that, it means the moments when you're on your knees praying and you don't want to. And more than just that, it means sacrifice. So what does sacrifice look like? I talked about this with a group of men yesterday. I said, why don't you start charging your phone downstairs so these lustful temptations are eliminated? Why don't you change the friend group that you have that drinks every single time you hang out? The friends that are going and doing the things that you don't want nothing to do with, why? If you don't have the self-control to not partake in the actions, what are you doing? Another thing we talked about was planning what you do before you get to whatever function you're talking about. So if it's hanging out with somebody of the opposite gender one-on-one, before you get to that situation, say, okay, what am I okay with and what am I not okay with, and stick to it. That's obviously how your self-control works. So what are you okay with and what are you not? When you're going to the function with all your friends and you know there might be a little bit of alcohol there and you know you're trying to quit that party life, or they're all going to be vaping and you know you want to quit that party life. If you don't have self-control yet, which you will get there, but if you don't have the self-control yet, why are you going to put yourself in that situation? It doesn't make any sense. So now we're going to flip this as, I'm trying to make sure this car is not coming towards me. Hold on. I love these things. They're so bad for you, I know. But I'm just addicted, so. Alright, yep, it's coming to me, so. Okay, we're back. So my friend just sent me this article about a stock that he was interested in. That's why I'm looking at my phone right now. Financial houses make signals, chosen to supply, chosen to supply, that's good. Routing equipment, global leader, revenue, company's gross margin, net margin of reflecting, balance sheet is evident with the ratio. Really confusing. But basically, the title of this video is going to be, and I know you had to wait a little bit to get to the point, but I generated $1,000. I spawned in $1,000 over 7 months of investing. My first 7 months of investing, I spawned in $1,000. What does that even mean? That sounds stupid, but I generated $1,000. So just like a bank that can take 90% of your money and loan it out with 10% interest on a $400,000 home and now make $40,000, you can do the same type of thing with investing your money. So what does investing mean? Obviously, you're putting money away for your future and it's growing. So it's not just money that you're putting away in a bank account that you're not spending, because your savings account, I guarantee you made 78 cents last year with a couple $1,000s sitting there. Now, if you invested a couple $1,000s at, 10% interest, you just made $200 compared to 78 cents. You see how big of a difference that is? And guess what? Both of the money you weren't touching regardless. So it's like, why would you not make money off it? And then your Roth IRA. So again, all this stuff I'm brand new to. So I'm speaking on it like you might think I understand every single thing that I say, but I kind of have a rough concept and I just know how important this is for your success, especially at our age. So your Roth IRA, your retirement account. What's so beautiful about that is it's money that's been taxed before you put it in. So you have to wait till you're 59 and a half to pull the money out of your Roth IRA. That sounds like forever. For me, that's 40 years, right? Just about 40 years on the dot, actually, in about a month. So in 40 years, whatever money I take out of that Roth IRA when I'm 59 and a half is all mine. If when you're 40 years old, you take $1 million and you sell it out of your taxable brokerage, so your S&P 500, whatever stock you put all your money in, if you sell it, you're not going to see me on the camera, so there's a car coming, but I'm talking. So if you sell it, you basically get to this point where you lose, roughly 30% of it because you're going to get taxed on the profit. Your Roth IRA, when you pull that out 20 years later, you pull the Roth IRA out when you're 59 and a half, and all $1 million is yours. So it's like, which one would you rather have? So your Roth IRA, the beautiful thing about it is you can only put $7,000 a year in it, which shows how powerful this account is. You have no limit to how much money you can put in your bank account, but you have a limit to how much money you can put in a Roth IRA. That should tell you how important that account is. So I use Robinhood. I downloaded Robinhood 7 months ago when I had a professor teach me how to invest my money. Shout out to him. He's the best teacher I've ever had in my life, and it's not close, and I mean that. So he said, this is what you need to do. This is what's going to happen. And he even told me, actually, he proved to me they knew what he was talking about, because he told me, he said, hey, the market is about to fluctuate. It's going to crash because it's been going way too high and it's unsustainable growth. He said this when I first met him in February. It turns out a couple months later, the market had crashed, the biggest it had crashed since 2008. Not a coincidence. He told me it was coming, which was the most beautiful thing about it. So I bought really heavy, which is why I was able to generate $1,000 in my first 7 months of investing. On average, the increase is 12%. So your money, every $100 on average for every year you invest will make $12. The idea is generating $1,000. How do you do it? Obviously, the idea is you want to buy a stock when it's low and sell it when it's high. But also, if you're so young, it's like, bro, in 40 years, it's going to be worth a lot more money than it's going to be worth in 2 years. So it's like, hold the stock. Any money you invest, you shouldn't want to touch for 3 to 5 years regardless. I hope kind of all this is making sense, and it's kind of giving you an idea here of how you can make your money make money. Like I said, put it in a savings account and watch it make 70 cents in a year. Put it in an investing account, $2,000, you just made $200 in a year. Big difference there. So let me know, hit me up if you're interested in this, because like I said, this, investing your money can change your life, prayer can change your life. These are two of the biggest things that I've been seeing in my life recently, and how I've been growing in every part of my life because of this. And the biggest thing I did was take action. I've preached that for so long, but the problem with anybody in the world is the people that are successful take action. So you need to take action. You can know what to do all you want, but you have to take action. So invest your money, grow deep in your prayer life, take action, and your life will change for the better.